Hello? Can't hear. Hello? 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 You're not miking up. Your mic is like lighting up, but you're not, like nothing's coming through.
Is this one
Is this one
working?
working? Oh, now it's working. Okay.
I'm using a different it might be kind of bad audio because it's like my camera
Yeah,
is
it's fine.
okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
so it's really simple. Like when you present this case where, oh, like here's this project for this amount of money, you can save this amount of shrimp or whatever. You want to that in and of itself, I think effective altruists have been very misleading when they say that. And it's good enough to mislead a lot of lay people because they're going to assume like, oh, millions of shrimp, so that's like millions of creatures that are plausibly sentient, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's a good thing. It's like, okay, well, all right. Like even if we assume that there's some non-trivial odds of sentience, which is questionable in shrimp, but let's just say it's, I don't think it'll be 10%, by the way. I think it'll probably be closer to, probably less than 1%. But anyway, even if it's 10%, um, the real issue is that if they are sentient, it's wildly like I have no. It's hard for me to even fathom the degree to which I wouldn't give a fuck about that degree of sentience. It's like, or to fathom the degree at which I would give a fuck about the sentience. It's like really, I'm just trying to even picture what that would be like. And
Well,
yeah, it's so what you want to do, what the effective altruist wants to do here is try and put into perspective the cost benefit analysis for the things that people who care about sentient creatures value, and they really don't do that. So they're not going to say, they don't present an analysis where it's saying, okay, for this amount of dollars you can save this amount of shrimp, and assuming a 10% probability that a shrimp is sentient, and assuming that with using this correlate, the value of their sentience is translatable to this amount relative to chickens or pigs or cows, then it makes sense to invest in this. Like that's just not what effective altruists are doing. Which it seems like effective altruists, like that's their whole shtick. Their whole shtick is to like find ways where they can do, find cost effective ways of getting those sorts of goals done. But they're not doing that. So,
as in they're
and
not.
if you were to do that, I think it would be like a really silly project.
Um. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Like.
Well, regardless of whether it would or wouldn't, like you agree that's not what's being done. Like certainly that's not what you did.
Sorry, I didn't use empirics or try to figure out like how
No, it's
many
not that
times.
you didn't use empirics. Like you didn't even like present it as assumptions. Like you didn't. You just said like, hey, you could save this many whatever shrimp with this amount of money. Like
Yes.
that's what you did. You didn't do the other stuff. Even like forgetting about bringing in empirics to it. Oh yes, all right, fine, fine, fine. Well, the reason I have the echo thing is because like when I do the echo cancellation thing, um, it kind of cucks my audio. In other words, it lets other people just completely talk over me, but that's fine. Um, Echo cancellation. Okay, it's there. So yeah, it's certainly not what you did. Like you didn't do the effective altruism shtick, right? You didn't present the cost benefit analysis with respect to their values. What you did was you just gave some figures, and without any clear indication why someone who cares about the effective altruist approach to optimize their, get the best bang for their buck for, saving sentient life forms with the degree of, with consideration of the degree of sentience that they care about. That's just not something that was done.
Okay, I think that's fair. But well, we can
Yeah,
just
so
adjust like the values.
you haven't presented a case why anyone should invest any money into the shrimp welfare project.
Well, we can just adjust the values in that case, right? And I'm not
I
sure
didn't.
generally.
Yeah, no. You can adjust the bit. Hold on. You can adjust. Okay, so obviously you can. I'm not gonna. Do you think I'm going to disagree that you can adjust values? Like you can just like say here, put values in.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Like, I guess like you wouldn't dispute that, but
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not possible to just take numbers and put them in. Yeah, you can assume whatever numbers you want and put it in. All I'm pointing out is that you didn't even try to do that. Right? Like even that even making you weren't even at the level of making up numbers. Now I don't think you should make up numbers, right? I think you should try to go to the literature and try to uh, see what people who have done various adjustments have figured out. Hopefully not with the effective altruist community because I've seen what they're the way they approach it and it's even more kooky. But yeah, so that's the point. Like the point is that should be your approach. Your approach should be to actually do the effective altruist approach should be to actually do what they say they're trying to do.
yeah, I haven't looked that much into like the literature. What I've done is essentially like skimmed what people generally say about the issue, and then try to come up with a conclusion from there. And I'm pretty sure like most people do this with like most empirics, right? I guess like what I would have to like what would have to be done for me to be convinced that like the numbers are off, or that like
Just to be clear,
um
you're the one who was trying to convince someone else, right?
um with I was trying to I don't think I came in with a specific what I came in with was like thoughts generally
Well, weren't you
on
in a
income
comment?
welfare.
Weren't you commenting back and forth with Ask
Uh,
Yourself
yeah.
on YouTube?
On YouTube. That was I think a different issue and not on this
Well, you
specific
mentioned
one.
the shrimp. You mentioned the shrimp thing in those comments. It's not
Um,
that issue. You did. There you
yes.
go. Yeah,
Okay.
there's your
So
comment.
the shrimp welfare project. Yeah. Um, I think like
You
okay.
said, I
I
think
wasn't
corporate
aware.
campaigns and whatnot are currently saving hundreds of millions, namely Shrimp Output Project corporate campaigns,
Yeah, hundreds
chicken
of
friendly
millions.
for hundreds of millions. And given that these charities are effective for saving dozens of sentient beings from torture per dollar, I think it's among the greatest moral imperatives that we donate as much as practicable to these charities. Now, I think that's an insane claim to make. I think that's like absolutely bonkers. To the point here, that's you making a claim to someone else. That's not about
Right.
you needing to be convinced. That's you trying to convince someone else. So it's not about what you need to be convinced. Thank God it's not about what an effective altruist needs to be convinced because holy shit, convincing them is like pulling every fucking tooth out of the mouth. But yeah, the point is like you need to you're coming in to convince other people, right?
So I suppose okay, if I could just put the positive case then. I
Yeah.
guess I'd put it like this. The first thing is, can we agree that, like, for instance, the Shrimp Welfare Project does indeed like prevent like several thousand or several hundred shrimp from like dying of asphyxiation per dollar through like stunning campaigns, or is that also under dispute?
Yeah, so I can grant that. I can grant that the effective altruist does that. I'm not sure whether that's actually a better way of going, by the way. I don't know if asphyxiation for shrimp is actually a more or less painful way of going than stunning. But
Like a death by asphyxiation over the course of like 20
yeah,
minutes or so?
yes, correct. You can have death by asphyxiation. The time frame you can you can have a time frame that's longer and less painful than a time frame that's shorter and more painful. In fact, if we know anything about the in fact, if anything, the nociceptive indicators, um, they don't really have the sort of agonistic slow type pains that in those creatures. They have the sharp, quick pains. In fact, if anything, there may be a
Uh,
case to make that the stunning is
nociceptors
more
aren't.
painful. Excuse me.
Yeah,
No. It's an inference. It's not saying that.
okay,
Not saying it's an inference. No,
right.
okay, we can make inferences about the type of pains organisms feel by the type of nociceptors they have and their reactions and their behavior. Okay. I'm not gonna make like don't assume like just in general process like don't assume I'm gonna make like a level 0 noob mistake.
Okay.
Okay, like I've been around the block here. Okay. I'm not making level 0 noob mistakes. So if anything, the point being is that if anything, all the indicators that we have suggest that it's the opposite. That if anything, maybe asphyxiation, there may be a plausible case to make that asphyxiation is actually less painful than stunning. In which the effective altruism campaign here, the Shrimp Welfare Project, might actually be, you might be donating your money to be like torturing these shrimp more than they would otherwise.
Yeah, I didn't hear. Yeah, that's a crazy consideration.
It's a crazy consideration.
Well, no, not a sorry. In the colloquial sense, in that like I haven't heard it before.
Ah,
Uh,
so it's out of left field, you're saying.
yes.
You're getting hit out of left field with something you didn't think was coming.
Yeah, I was under the impression that that was just like the general consensus because I
Yeah.
hadn't heard anything to the contrary, and I've been
And it
listening to
should be the
that.
general consensus for creatures that have type C nociceptive fibers because they can't because we have every indication in their behavior that they do actually seem to operate as if they have that sort of responses to those like agony type of pains, and asphyxiation might sort of cause that, but it's not very clear in the case of shrimp that that's actually a better way to go if you didn't have that sort of pain modality. And in fact, if the only sort of pain modality you have is that sharp, quick sort of stabbing, nagging pain, stunning does generate those sort of responses. And so it seems like you might just be just activating the only type of pain the shrimp can feel, or the only modality of pain the shrimp can feel, whereas there was another way of going that the shrimp can't feel, or feels less. So it's not really clear that you're actually helping much of anything. You might be making the situation far worse. You might be just paying for a torture chamber.
That's fair. I suppose the question is then why wouldn't like a shrimp evolve the capacity or like to feel pain if they were suffocating? It seems like
Yeah,
an
because
incentive.
it's pain on suffocation is a different type of because okay, look, so there's different. It's like asking like why does this colorblind person not like why do dogs not have like three cone receptors? Like I don't fucking know. It's like different creatures have different pain modalities. They may just shrimp like are you asking evolutionary? Shrimp asphyxiation just might not be a common concern evolutionary for them to develop pain to that. Like who the fuck knows? But the point being is that it's certainly not clear. And even if they do feel some sort of pain, it's not clear that it's less pain than the type of nociceptive fibers they're saturated with, which would be all activated with the stunning. Just because it's a lower time frame doesn't mean it's like not going to be more intense.
Well, it's like we take the argument the other way then, and we suppose it is more likely than not that like the shrimp welfare project is actually causing immense amounts of pain to shrimp. Wouldn't it be a similar like because now like I previously did donate a good amount of money to the shrimp welfare project, and presumably it was causing thousands of shrimp to be tortured under your view,
Well,
or
I'm
it's
not
supposed
taking a
to. Not
strong
not
view.
not a
Like
not
just
a strong view, but
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
supposed
plausible. It's plausible. Like
it's plausible to you.
I generally, because of the whole shrimp thing, I don't think you're like a bad, an evil person for doing this because I don't really care that much about the shrimp sentience either way. But uh, yeah. So you could but yeah, it could very well be the case that you have donated a lot of money to do
To
something
torture
that
shrimp. But
yes.
like, it seems still the case to me that this is a major moral concern then, because if there's like all
Well,
of these
no,
people,
I was just
um,
very clear. There's other reasons why. No. When I say torture, I think that's a very low. I think it's an incredibly low probability that you're torturing them in the sense that I would care about. So there's other reasons. Okay, it's just there's multiple different layers of criticism here. So one layer of criticism is that even granting everything else, like you could be torturing the shrimp. The other layer of criticism is that we're not granting everything else. Like there's other
hmm,
reasons to think like it's not a
right?
moral concern either way.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
so it's a multi-tiered thing. It's like, okay, you haven't really shown that this is a real moral concern. Number two, even if it is a moral concern, you might just be on the wrong side of history here.
Yeah, in which case I would retort and say that it is still among the greatest moral imperatives that well, maybe
But
not that we
that's
donate as much as
compatible with
possible
what I
as
just said.
charitable.
Wait, that's compatible with what I just said. Yes, if it's a moral imperative, it's a moral imperative. Tautology, very good, excellent. Pat on the back for the tautology.
I'm,
But I haven't
I
granted
wasn't
that it
trying
is,
to.
of course.
I wasn't trying to make that point. My point
No,
was,
but it's a trivial point. It's like it's not gonna. Yeah, you could say, well, if we grant everything suggesting that it's a moral imperative, then I would say it's a
no,
moral
no,
imperative.
no. I'm not saying that you grant that much. I'm just saying that you grant. There are a lot of people who are donating a lot of money to this project, which plausibly either, in one case, saves a bunch of shrimp from like not being suffocated, or in the other case, is causing a bunch of torture onto these
Or in
shrimp.
the other, or
Or
in the
in
other
the
case,
third,
does nothing except for
yeah,
waste money,
or in the
or
other
just
case,
waste,
does
or just
nothing.
waste a bunch of money. Yeah, to do nothing.
In which case, it would still be a
Yes, it
really
would still
large
be.
concern.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
that, yeah. So in
because
that sense, yeah. So I'm not saying. So wait. So just to be clear, my claim is not that the shrimp welfare project is not a moral consideration in any sense. Like it
right,
could be a moral consideration in the sense that everyone's wasting money when it could be used for other purposes, which is, by the way, is what I came in with.
yeah, and I think like in any of those cases, it would be like still a really big imperative to like maybe like spread the word or talk about it or to
Okay, but that's
like
very
consider
different
it
than what.
seriously.
Okay, wait. But that's, you realize that just the claim of, hey, maybe we should talk about this, is a very different claim than what you came in with in that comment, right? Because
Yeah,
you're
that's yeah. I suppose I'll fall back on the second point then. They're just
because
corporate
you didn't, because when
campaigns.
you said moral imperative, your claim here was, word, you didn't just say this is a moral imperative to talk about. Your claim was, I think it's among the greatest moral imperatives that we donate as much as practicable to these charities.
Right. So I have a
That was,
second point to fall back on, which is not talking about the shrimp welfare project then, conceding all of that. Presumably the welfare of chickens still matters.
well, wait, but
And
you did mention the shrimp welfare project in that comment.
I
These
mentioned it in
charities included.
conjunction with the
Yeah,
like
wait, but then in conjunction, yeah, but then, wait, but then if it's a conjunction, uh,
uh,
yeah, but then that's the misleading part I would be talking about. Like you can say, like, okay, it's very important to throw your money out of the window and donate to a worthy cause. Like if that's my claim, you agree that's like really fucking silly, right? I should
yes.
just amend that and say donate it to a worthy cause, not make a conjunction with throwing it out the window and donating it to a worthy cause.
Up until this point, I had not realized that, like, the thing about the Type C nociceptors, and I'll definitely look into that. And also, if I knew about that sooner, I probably would not have donated as much to the Shrimp Welfare Project. Maybe have diverted those funds elsewhere. Um, but in any case, I think like it's still like
Wait, so if
extremely.
all that's left, yeah, if all that's left is you think these are some issues that we should talk about, like animal welfare
Well,
behavior and stuff.
no, also on the corporate campaigns for like chicken charities as well, right?
Okay, with that,
So,
but we're not going to disagree. Yeah, but we're not going to. That's not. You're not going to find dispute with that here. Like,
oh,
we regard chickens as like relevantly morally sentient, like we're
okay.
relevantly sentient creatures.
Okay, in which case, like corporate campaign charities plausibly avert.
We're not.
Um,
Okay, but if, yeah, so then we can look at the, yeah. I'm not opposed to saying it's important to look at the empirics of what corporate campaign charities for chickens do.
and there's
That
one
that
more
wasn't
thing
the
which
point. That
I might
wasn't the
have
point
wanted
of.
to
That wasn't the
defend.
point of. Yeah, but that
Yeah,
wasn't the point of contention. We're not going to find dispute there.
okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
It
I
was
suppose
just the shrimp
I have
shit.
been demolished and broken on the question of shrimp welfare. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So just remember, facts don't care about your feelings. You've been destroyed by facts and logic in this debate, and I'm just kidding. Anyway, um, okay.
Mhm.
I can hear everyone just fine, Isaac. I think that I think it's you. Okay, but anyway, all right. I got to go to work. Yes, I work at very weird hours, but anyway,
0.04. Damn, that's crazy. All right,
yeah.
bye.
All right, bye.